Harry, I was just checking on some stats, your playing stats, a bit earlier. You played 48 games already this season, potentially another 14 with Man United, plus 2 in the next couple of days if you play both games with England. That's a total of 64 games, which is from the 19th of September to now, to the end of the season, will be a heck of a kind of schedule before you even go to the Euros. I'm just wondering if there's a fear of burnout amongst yourself. You fear that, having played so many games. I know you mentioned you've stayed fit, but is that an issue in the back of your mind, having played so much football?
No, it's not something I've thought about burnout. I don't look into the negative thoughts. I'm always positive. I see it as a positive. I'm working hard when I'm not playing. I'm looking after myself, and mentally and physically, I feel like I'm in a good place. Obviously, like you say, it is a lot of games. Playing every 3-4 days for my club. I don't think we've had a 7-day where we've had a free week to prepare for a game. So I think the hardest part is probably not training a lot and not doing any short, sharp little games. I played a little 3v3 the other day in training, I think yesterday, and it was probably my first small-sided game I've had for a long time. So no, it's something that I see as a positive. I see I've played 49 and I feel good, and 49 I think you said. So I feel like I'm more than capable of coping with the remainder.
When you get back home, is it just feet up really until the next game, more or less?
Yeah, I think at the moment, especially at club level, you don't spend much time on the training pitch. You do a lot of meetings and tactical and not much sharp training. So yeah, it's feet up, it's rest, it's recover and get ready to go again. Mentally, obviously after a defeat, the best thing is to play and get it out of the way and try and get back on the positive and win the game of football. So that always helps. And physically, I feel like I'm in a good place.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go to Duncan Wright, the Sun.
Hi, Harry.
Hello.
Just building on what you said about your partnership with John and your friendship, you've both had difficult times off the field since that World Cup. Did you lean on each other for support? What help did you give to each other? Because you both come through it and, with flying colours.
Yeah, we always speak away from football. He's a good friend. Like I said, I've grew up with him. I grew up playing against him when he was at Barnsley. We're not far from each other where we actually grew up and lived and come through. But yeah, we've both when you play centre back, especially week in week out, you're going to have some ups, you're going to have some downs. You're going to be at fault you're not going to go throughout your career without being at fault for goals. So you get scrutinised when you play in the Premier League, so you expect that. It's about how strong you are mentally and how you can come through it. And like you've said, I'm pleased to see John. He's back playing with confidence and back playing really well. And for myself, yeah, I feel exactly the same.
Did you lean on each other? Were there words exchanged between each other? I mean, obviously you probably won't tell me what was said, but was it helping each other out through it? Yeah,
definitely. We spoke to each other through times. Where it's tough, we spoke when it was tough, and we speak when it's going well. And no, like I say, I'm close with John. I want him to play as well as he can without winning football matches if possible. But yeah, I think no, it's like I say, you go through ups and downs, and it's about how you bounce back and believing in yourself and working hard, and that's only what you can do.
So go to Simon Peach, the PA.
Hi, Harry.
Hello.
All right. 2 questions. One, just about Jesse Lingard. Obviously, you've known him for a long time now, but you've seen him kind of reborn or re-energised at West Ham. He's only played 11 times for club or country this season. It's pretty impressive what he's managed to do the other night. And the second of all was, when you got that sending off against Denmark, it seemed, it was obviously a low moment for yourself, but Gareth always publicly supported you, and I'm guessing privately as well. How much was that support welcomed, and how much easier did that make for you to get back to where you are now?
Yeah, first and foremost on Jesse, it's great to see him. I know how much playing for his country means to him. So for him to get the recognition and to be back in the squad, and I think you're seeing him the other night, his energy and his intensity that he worked at and the confidence that he was playing with. it's been an excellent loan move to go out and get games. So no, I'm really happy and pleased for him, the way that he's playing and scoring goals, and just really big smile on his face and playing with a lot of confidence. And yeah, obviously getting the red card against Denmark was disappointing for myself. And the support that I've got as friends, family, and obviously Gareth and Ollie at Manchester United, the faith that they've shown in me and the trust that they've shown in me to keep picking me, keep playing me when I'm available. I've always been selected in the England squad, so that gives me great confidence, and I feel the trust with that. But yeah, I think a big thing when you are going through downs, and like I say, you know that you'll always come out if you keep strong and keep fighting and keep working hard.
Simon, and we'll take one more for Harry from Matt Reed.
Hi, Harry. Can you hear me?
Yep, can I hear you?
Hello, mates. It's a little bit more on you and John Stones as a combination, really. Again, I'm afraid, but I think it could be quite interesting. Can you tell us specifically when you first met, if you can remember the year, and potentially the match? Which player out of the two of you had the edge at the time? Who was the better player? And when at that point, did you look at him and think that guy could make it to the top? Was he that good?
I couldn't tell you the year. I just knew that we grew up playing against each other a lot. He was the year below me. But when you formed in the under-16s, when the 15s play with the 16s, I ended up playing against him a lot. I always knew he had great talent. He was always great on the ball, technically very good. And the rivalry always continued. When I was playing for Sheffield United, he was at Barnsley. It was always a big game, and the one that we wanted to get the better of them on. But yeah, I think you could always see from a young age he was an excellent player. He had great ability on the ball, and I think he's shown that throughout his career.
Thanks, Matt. Okay, Harry?
Thank you.
That finishes you. You can go now. Thanks. Give it a few moments and then we'll continue with Gareth. Okay, Jonathan Northcroft.
Hi, Gareth.
Hi, Johnny.
Hi. It's interesting hearing you talk about Jude Bellingham there and how naturally he seems to have stepped up to this level. I guess on the pitch you've got no real worries about his ability to do that. I'm just wondering, if you did pick him for the Euros, that's a different level of home Euros of kind of attention that any player has to go through. Are you seeing a player that at 17 has got the maturity to handle that side of it, not just the football maturity, but the maturity to handle the off-field stuff?
Yeah, in fact, I'd say further advanced in his football even. I couldn't be more impressed with him as a human being. His parents have done a fantastic job and should be very proud. He's got humility, good manners, confidence, and a lovely way about him. There was a video that the FA released of some sort of personal insights of his, and I couldn't believe some of his interactions with the fans at Birmingham at the age of 16, 17. Not many players have the confidence to go and get the fans going and get them roaring behind the team when they've just scored. And I thought that was quite significant, really, in showing the level of his thinking and also his comfort in going and putting himself out there to do that. So, yeah, I'm very, very impressed with him. And we've got to make sure that we look after him, that we help that education, that we help that development. We've got to protect him at the right times. But he's going about it in exactly the right manner.
Okay, thanks, John. Next, Mark Manbryans of PA.
Hi, Gareth.
Hi, Mark.
Declan Rice is someone you showed faith in very early on in his career, and now he's flying high as a captain of a side challenging for Europe. When you have to answer so many questions about the flair and attacking players you've got available, how important a player is someone like Declan? And given the fitness concerns over Jordan, how important could he be in the summer?
Yeah, I think you only have to watch at his club to see how many balls he regains every Saturday. You have got to have that balance. I mean, we can't be a team that just look good with the ball and create and score. We've got to stop opponents from playing. We've got to be hard to play against, and we've got to keep clean sheets. So the balance of that's really important. Defenders have to defend well. We've got defenders who can use the ball, but they've got to defend well, and that protection just in front of them is really important. So the likes of Declan, the likes of Calvin Phillips, the likes of James Ward-Prowse, Jordan Henderson, those types of players who can do both sides of the game. They can use the ball well, but they also do an important job defensively. Yeah, that's critical for a team to function.
Thanks, Mark. Next we go Mike Maguire of The Telegraph.
Hi, Gareth. If I could ask a couple of quick ones, please. With Jude, would you see a similarity in terms of when you were at Euro '96 and Rio was around the squad, and how much he would pick up from being around the seniors?
I think, slightly, different people in different positions, but I think both had a thirst to watch the top players and to see what made them professionals, what makes them top professionals. And I think Jude has got that with some of the experienced players at his club, Mats Hummels and players of that sort of experience, who he can see why he's a World Cup winner, why he has had the longevity in the game that he has. And he'll obviously be looking at our senior players and seeing, why they've hit the level they have. He's very keen to learn and observe in that regard. So I think that's a process all young players go through, and that's why it's so important for us that we have good senior players that role model things. We can talk to them as coaches, but there's lots of things they just pick up by playing alongside, training alongside, working alongside good professionals every day.
And I was just going to ask as well, when it comes to that 23, when you're 5 years into the job, would it never get easy to tell people disappointing news when it comes to major tournaments, and it has to be kind of dealt sensitively, I suppose?
Yeah, of course. It's the worst part of the job is naming a team and having to leave players out of the team, and of course naming a squad for a major championship is a position where you bring a fantastic moment for 23 players and a real disappointment for others. But it's important that we communicate well throughout the piece, really. Players that are with us now, it's important they know where they stand. If they've got to step up a level to make sure they get in that squad, they need to know that now. So the more we communicate that over the next couple of months, it shouldn't just be about a call at the end.
Thanks, Mike. Dan King.
Hi, Gareth. The other evening, some media outlets chose not to even give Nick Pope a rating for his performance because he had so little to do. Realistically speaking, with the build-up to the actual Euros, he's really got 2 games now to prove that he could be the number one. What can he do in those 2 games, and to what extent will Jordan Pickford's previous experience playing, for you in a major tournament just trump almost anything that Nick can do in these next 2 games?
I don't think Nick has to do anything special. Nick's just got to approach the games as he approaches the games every match day for his club. He's a very consistent performer, really calm temperament. One of the most important things when you have a night like the other night is don't go looking for work as a goalkeeper. Just be content if it's a day where you get a clean sheet without having to do very much. Then you put that in the bag that and move on to the next one. What we don't need are people in goal that need to grab the attention and need to be seen to be doing something, because that's when you force things and you can create errors. So I thought he went about that in the correct manner. I'm sure the next couple of games he'll be tested more for certain, and he's more than up to the task. So I sleep very well at night with Nick in between the posts. No concerns about that at all.
Thanks, Dan.
Any concerns about Jordan's form over the course of the season before he got injured, or is he almost guaranteed to be your starting goalkeeper if he's fit?
Well, there's always an obsession with that question, isn't there? Who's your number one? At the moment, Jordan's not fit, so Nick's playing. It's a bit like when I'm asked, if I'm naming a 23 tomorrow, do I know what it is? Well, yeah, they're here because the other 8 are injured. So at the moment, there's no decision to make. All the goalkeepers and all the outfield players have got to play well for us. They've got to play well as they can for their clubs, and then we'll make decisions from there. Jordan, of course, has been excellent for us over a long period of time, so we're very happy with what he's done. But equally, we couldn't have been more pleased over the 3 years that Nick's worked with us. The way he's trained every day, the way he's come into the matches when we've given him the opportunity. He's been excellent. So it's a good challenge. And equally, we've got Dean and Sam now with us for the first time, who we're pleased with the way they've worked this week. And they also have to be ready for their opportunity.
Thanks, Dan. Jacob Steinberg.
Hi, Gareth. You said after Thursday night that you felt that Raheem was maybe trying a little bit too hard to score. Do you think that there's an element of him maybe being fired up because there's a little bit of doubt over his place at Manchester City at the moment, and also, while he was away from the camp in October and November, he's probably seen some young players come in his position in press. Is he sort of trying to sort of re-establish himself, almost show that he's still the man, as it were?
Well, I think he probably knew he didn't have a full 90 minutes to get his goals, so he was probably trying to cram them into 45, really. But look, for us, he's a very important player, and we know that when opponents are looking at our team, Raheem's one of the players that they'll be looking at and worried about. And he's got the bit between his teeth. He wants to play well for England. He missed out on the games in October and November. In the September, after a week's holiday, his desire to win and his will to win the game in Iceland when we went down to 10 men. I mean, it was phenomenal just to see that drive and that passion. And that's a big part of Raheem's game. He is a driven player, and whenever there's a challenge in front of him, he wants to step up and take that on. And he's determined to do well. He wants to have a big summer with us, and he's a crucial part of us doing well.
Do you think it was a little bit underestimated, the effect on the side when he wasn't there in October and November?
Well, it wasn't underestimated by us. If you've got Raheem, who in the last 20 matches is probably over 1 in 2 goal scoring. Marcus, I think, is that throughout his England career. He's 1 in 4, I think, 1 in 3. So they're important numbers, and of course you need attacking players who can unlock defences and who can creatively take players out of the game. But you also need people to finish chances, and we definitely missed both their speed and their finishing power in the autumn.
Thanks, Jacob. Okay, we've got time for 2 more, starting with Harry Pratt.
Hi, Gareth.
Hi, Harry.
Gareth, we've seen in today's news about Thierry Henry closing down his social media sites for the moment, sort of in protest at the way the companies guard individuals against racist abuse. I was just wondering, from England's point of view, and at a major finals, where this abuse appears to be growing and it's inevitable, it's going to come, is there any consideration from yourselves and the team, and would you talk to them about how you're going to handle that situation during the Euros? And would it ever be something you would think, well, look, we just can't have this going on during a major tournament? Because I can imagine it could be quite a distraction and get pretty intense during a tournament.
Yeah, I think it's something for all players and all high-profile people that might receive that sort of negative attention to think about. And it's not just high-profile people. There'll be young kids who are getting bullied online, and that's something everybody has to think about. Do you want to put yourself in that sort of situation? I made a conscious decision to come off social media when I took the under-21 job. I didn't think it was probably the right platform, and I didn't really want to read the sorts of messages that I know would be landing in my box. So, and similarly, when I'm in camp, I try to switch off from all the external media, which is not great for keeping up with what's going on in the world, but the world's a happier place if I'm not getting that negativity. So I think that's something absolutely for our players to consider. I think if you spoke to every manager in the country, one of their big concerns would be that they go in the dressing room after a game and players are scrolling through their phones, and it's a vulnerable moment for people if they've just played a game and they're tired and they're fatigued, and what voices are they listening to? So it seems that the companies in charge don't seem to be controlling it at the moment, and therefore I can totally understand when people choose to come off those platforms.
I mean, would you have a team decision on it though during a tournament, or would you let that down to the individuals? Because I appreciate they're younger lads, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't think you can force people into a decision. I think you can discuss it, and people can have the maturity to make their own decisions. But these boys have got to live their lives as well, and they've got to make their own decisions and their own sort of go their own path, even though that might not be helpful for them at the time, and you might see that from afar. You can't force people on those sorts of issues, I don't think. I think that's got to be their own journey through life, and they have the right to make those calls.
Thanks,
I think from a performance perspective, I don't see a huge positive in a lot of that interaction, but equally there are connections with fans and connections with the public which have been really important for the growth of our team as well. So it's a difficult balance.
Thanks, Harry. And we'll finish with Rob Draper.
Hi, Gareth.
Hi, Rob.
Just one on the situation in Qatar. I know you've addressed it last week, but it looks like Holland team will make some kind of statement tonight on human rights issues there. And I know some of the England players are thinking about, they might talk about that and see whether they wanted it at one stage. If that were to happen, would you be supportive? And could you just reflect a little bit on how it was in your day when you might have got many questions, but having developed view on human rights issues or political issues really wasn't a factor that a footballer had to think about?
Yeah, well, I think in terms of the situation in Qatar, I know the FA are working closely with Amnesty International, and we'll be talking with Qatar as well. So, and Amnesty my understanding is don't want the tournament postponed or moved. They want to work and highlight issues that maybe can be improved. So it's important we work with organisations like that. I think when you're involved with England, you're always going to be asked questions that are beyond football, and you can choose to duck those questions, and you can choose to say, I'm only here to talk about the game. But I think over the last 5 years I've tried not to do that, and I think there's been some important points to make and maybe some issues that we've helped to make a difference with. So I would always encourage players to have their own view, and we could differ on those views in certain areas. But I think we've got a mature environment. We want well-rounded people who have an opinion. Of course, what happens is we get asked an opinion, we give an honest, balanced answer, and then we get slammed for, suggesting that the players should be vaccinated or something like that. So maybe we would be better to keep our mouths shut at times, but I think we'll keep doing what we've been doing and try and give you guys some stories to write.
Okay, guys, we'll finish it there. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.